Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Catherine and I tell true stories. Today I'm going to tell you about the cost of hiring a beauty without brains. This is a true story which happened, of course, in the Gulf. In the Gulf we have the Arabic tribe language and the nationalities that are Arabic, and so there's so much on demand because most organizations need them to communicate to the locals, since most of the locals are more conversant with that language. So here it's in a hotel, and there is one Indian sales manager going to resign, and so they needed a replacement. And this Indian manager could not speak Arabic, so they thought it's a very good opportunity now to get someone who can speak Arabic. And they had to look within their staff. Within their staff, there was one lady from Morocco. Of course, it's an Arabic country. She can speak Arabic, and honestly, most of them are very beautiful. The thing is, she had never done sales in her life, and the only qualification she had was she could speak Arabic, and the others could not. And the job she was hired for was actually just to welcome guests and to take them to the various locations of that hotel. Without thinking, the manager was like, why not take her? Why not take her? She's beautiful. In sales, you need at least to attract people so that they can maybe listen to you or come to you easily if you want to sell something. And in this case, they were trying to sell memberships of the resort, as in you come and join the resort at a fee for maybe 1 year. You have access to the pools and beaches, to the gym. You don't have to keep paying every day, and various discounts you have for so many things, products. So that was not the purpose she was hired for. She was hired to escort the guests. The minimum they needed was she can speak Arabic, and anyone who can not also speak Arabic can still do the same, escort the guests to the various locations, as long as you know the map of the place. And not all the guests were Arabic anyway. That was what she was hired for. Without thinking, this manager hired her for the sales representative. Sales representative. And she took up the post without thinking also. Imagine. She took up the post without thinking, because even her, she was very naive. She doesn't know so much about, this was her first job in her life, and she was quite young. And of course, she knew that she's beautiful, and I think in their countries, they tell them that they're beautiful and they can do so many things with their bodies. That's what people believe. I'm not judging, but that's what people are saying. So this lady could not even write her own name, leave alone writing the name of the guest. She could not file because she didn't know whether the file was upwards or upside down, or which way the paper should face, where to put the holes in the folder or in the paper to be filed. She had no idea. All she knew that this folder carries papers. There was no order. Somebody joins, pays money, she puts it in the file. Another one pays money, puts it in the file. So the front desk was the ones collecting the money of these members. There was a limit of memberships, maybe 1 year, 1 month. things like that, 6 months, things like that. So all she was doing is collecting the papers and filing them, as if we could call that filing, putting them in a folder. Some were actually upside down. It was so bad that the front desk lost track of whose membership has expired, who renewed when, who has a pending bill. It could no longer be tracked because all this work was given to her. She was supposed to talk to the guests so that they could join the membership. But instead, she was talking to them, and she is attractive, and the male were now more interested in her than the membership. So she was making more boyfriends than the membership, and now she was doing extra work after her duty, entertaining the members overtime, out of duty hours. You know what I mean? So things went haywire. Members could extend beyond a year because they realized there's no follow-up. Nobody was stopping them from coming back to the gym or using the facilities that they had paid for membership, even if it was just for 1 month. Now they were going beyond. And of course, the country that she was working in is a very small country, so word spreads very fast. If you want to join membership and extend it, you go to this hotel. And so that was how she was getting members. Can you imagine? But not everybody is that cruel to take advantage of stupidity. Some will come to the front desk and ask when are they renewing their membership. And when they will go back to the files that she had filed in brackets, they wouldn't even trace the file. Or if they will trace it, it was upside down and it was long overdue. Then something happened. A new manager came in and noticed that things were not right. She was a bit strict. She noticed that things were not right. So what she did, instead of firing this lady or instead of demoting her to embarrass her, she simply gave out her tasks to the front desk and for everyone who worked in the resort. As in, instead of the salesperson representative selling memberships, anyone else in the resort could do it and get a commission for it, not only her. Instead of filing, her filing was taken away and given to the front office. And that was like the end of her work. Now all she had to do was maybe go out and meet the people. But unfortunately, she was not going out to meet the people. She was for the business. She was going out to meet the people for her own benefits. Because she believed she was beautiful. Yes, she was. And there were some people taking advantage of her. So, what happened next is her out of the office trips was stopped and she was told just to make the calls, no visits to the offices, or if she has to go, she has to go with somebody else. They brought her an assistant, a more experienced person who also was shocked to see how disorganized things were and how comes this person was hired. Well, on realizing that the truth was coming out, she resigned. And she used what she knows best. She used what she knows best to get a better position in another department in the same hotel. Of course, it was a male manager manning that department. And so he gave her a sales executive position without even thinking, because he was attracted to her. He just gave her the position like that. From sales lady to sales executive, and now she was owning an office of her own. She could, do her business peacefully without any disturbance. Because this was a bigger organization, department, and nobody will easily notice that she doesn't know anything. But it wasn't long before this manager also moved out because it's a big organization and people keep moving just like that. Just like that. So this guy was replaced by another person who also came to realize actually this sales executive does not seem to know what she's doing. And so what he did, he just dumped her in another department when there was a vacancy, from sales executive to food and beverage manager. Manager, food and beverage. She has no experience even as a waiter. She has no experience of anything to do with restaurant or food management whatsoever. No experience. And here she was put in a position to manage. And then there was a wedding that she was supposed to organize. As a food and beverage manager, it has a big number of people, you know, and it was a very expensive wedding. These people had paid everything up front, so they expected the best service either. So I tend to think that whoever put her in this position of manager was a setup for her, was putting her up for failure, so that at least he'll have a reason maybe to fire her. You never know, some people use their brain, put you high and bring you down very heavily. So what happened is the wedding was going on very well because she had very good organizers. The waiters knew everything. She was just watching as they arranged things, but she didn't actually know what was happening. All she knew that the wedding, the hall had been hired like for 12 hours. That's the only thing she knew. She knew nothing about the arrangement, how it's done, what is going to happen after another. Anyway, the wedding committee had its own organization. So it had its own planning, so she was lucky to escape that. And then 12 hours came. People were so high. They were dancing. Mind you, they were not drunk because this was an Islamic wedding and there no alcohol, of course. But they were happily dancing. And the 12th hour that they had paid for, since they had paid for 12 hours, immediately the 12 hours hit. It's like she was watching the clock. She went and switched off the music herself. And she thought that's how she's going to end the wedding. What transpired, nobody expected to happen in a wedding. All the women landed on her. Blows, pulling of hair. It seemed like actually they never liked her from the start for some reason. And it was like they were just waiting for an opportunity to come so that they finish her. And as I said, the Gulf is a very small place, and these people know who does what with whose wife, with whose husband. It's very, you cannot do some malice and get away with it just like that. And so someone relieving their anger on her that they had stored. It's like they knew her. They were on her hair. They bruised her like nobody's business. It's just by the help of the waitresses who never liked her either that she was saved. They really pounced on her, beat her up, bruised her, kicked her, just for switching off the music. Without even notice, she just switched it off to tell them to get out, your time is up. No professionalism completely. Just because you were hired for your looks. That's it. No experience, no training. Landed her in hospital for several weeks. Ambulances had to be called to rescue her. And as if that was not enough, the wedding celebrants continued to dance and went beyond the 12 hours that they had paid for. while this one was fighting for her life in hospital. After that, she learned through experience. She realized, because she was also innocent, she'd never worked before, so she didn't know that she's missing. She didn't know that you need training to do these things, because this was her first job, and she's never gone even to high school. Her last class was in high school, and because she could speak English, she was Arabic, she was hired in a Gulf country because of her Arabic speaking. So guys, if you really want to hire somebody, don't just rely on the looks. Look at the qualifications as well. The looks could just be a plus, and depending on what field you're going to work in. So if you like my content, like, share, and subscribe. 90 something % are watching my videos without subscribing, so I'll be grateful if you click that button and subscribe. Ciao.